What's up, family and friends? Good afternoon, and welcome to this live broadcast. How are you doing today? Hope you are doing great. It's a great day, and we are great. We are also grateful to nature. See how beautiful today is? The sun, the cold weather, doing their thing naturally, just as we ought to be doing our thing naturally. We ought to be doing our thing naturally, using our head. Using our head is very important. So I titled this, Use Your Head. Until you use your head, you will not understand yourself. Until you use your head, you will not know yourself. Until you use your head, you will believe everything is spiritual. Until you use your head, you will believe the lies they taught you in religion, the lies they taught you from childhood, the lies they taught you in schools, theological schools, Bible schools, what they also call secular schools. You'll be believing all those lies until you use your head. It is very important to use your head, my people, especially we Africans. We need to use our head. They have been telling us all lies, and they have miseducated us, against our ancestors, against our truth, against everything we stand for. So we must use our head. It's time we begin to use our head. We have used their spirituality, we have used their books, we have used all the things they devise for us, the things they force us. They force us to use our faith, they force us to use, which is their faith. So they force us to use faith instead of our head. They force us to use God, the concept they created, instead of our head. To use your head, simply means to think critically in order to understand something or to avoid mistakes. To think carefully. Somebody says something, you just take it. You don't just take it because the person said that, oh, that person is a man of God. That person is the president. That person is a professor. That person is highly educated. That person is smarter than me. No, nobody is greater than you. The ones you say are smarter than you is because you think so and you believe so. The day you use your head, you will know nobody is smarter than you. It's only people you allow to be smarter than you that are smarter than you. When you begin to use your head, you begin to value intelligence than education. Because with intelligence, you will educate yourself and not become an educated fool that the people will teach you to be or taught you to be. To think critically in order to understand something. You have to understand something. If you must believe something, understand that thing first. When you understand that, you will find out you don't need to believe. You will know. But religion don't want you to use your head. They tell you, do not lean on your own understanding. Fuck them. Why shouldn't I lean on my own understanding? You want me to keep practicing blind faith? I know I lean on my own understanding. I know how I came about. I know how I came into this life. My father and my mother had sex and they had me. That's the fact. What else do you want me to understand? You want me to understand there is a God that created me? A God I cannot see? You want me to understand to believe that there is Jesus, the Son of God, that died for my sin? Even the sin my mother did not commit, my father did not commit, I did not commit. I don't know who is Adam and Eve. You say Adam and Eve committed a sin, that's why I am suffering. Why what you call suffering is not actually suffering. Laboring to produce your food, laboring to make money has nothing to do with your suffering. It has nothing to do with any cause. You have to use your head. I shared that post yesterday. If you use your head, you will begin to see how ridiculous all the stories in the Bible are. They tell you that a woman came out of a man's rib cage. And you believe that? You believe it is the word of God. Who told you Bible is the word of God? Who told you Quran is the word of God? Who told you any book is the word of God? It is your fellow human being that told you that lie. The God they said that word belongs to cannot speak, it cannot come to, it cannot show up. You have to use your head, my people. That's why they beat you on the head. They don't want you to use it. They beat you on the head. Come on, read and believe. Believe. You have to read and believe it. You need a spiritual eyes. No, I don't need spiritual eyes. I need my natural eyes. If spiritual eyes exist, many of you will be plugging your eyes as Jesus said. Don't tell me you are not lusting after things you see. Jesus said, if you lust after a woman in your heart, you look at a woman and you lust after that woman, he said you have committed adultery and you will go to hell. He says it's better you plug your eyes than to enter heaven with one eye or with no eyes than you to go to hell with your two eyes. That's what they make you believe. That's what I used to believe. Ridiculous shit. And I used to believe them. Which many people still believe today. All of them, they are not using, anyone that is talking about God is not using his or her head. Everyone that is talking about Jesus is not using his or her head. Everyone that is talking about Islam, Christianity, Judaism, or any religion in this world, they are not using their head. Anyone that is talking about deity is not using their head. Because deity is a human being gone wrong. When you don't use your head, you are bound to make mistakes. That's why when you don't use your head, those people with sweet tongue, they easily swear you, they easily deceive you, they easily capture you. That's what all these pastors are doing. That's what all these men of God are doing. Religions, they are doing all this. They don't want you to use your head. They want you to believe. That's why you can see a professor, you can see a well-educated person, somebody that have traveled all over the world, still having faith in God. Because the person have been using whatever they taught him, the laws they gave to him, the principles they gave to him, the order they gave to him, the coronation, ordination, everything they gave to him in the name of religion. That's what the person is using to make his judgment. He's not using his head. When you use your head, you will always stand in the path of fact. You will always stand with factual truth. You will not stand against factual truth. You will not speak against factual truth because you will use your head. If this person is guilty, he wouldn't have said this. If this person is not guilty, he wouldn't have not said this. You are using your head to judge. Your brain is greater than all the computers in the world put together. But they make you believe, no, it's not. You have to go to school. You have to earn some degree. You have to earn some diploma. You have to bullshit. The person that gave out the first diploma or the first degree, what degree did that person have? What diploma did that person have? Tell me. It is people that made that shit up. If somebody can make something up, you can also make something up. We are not using our head. That's why we are suffering. Slaves are forbidden to use their own head. They do whatever their master, the slave master says. Because the day slaves will begin to use their head, they will begin to plan how to break free, how to liberate themselves, how to free themselves. Because the slave master who is giving you what you want, not instead of what you need, we never allow you to break free. We never allow you to be free. Unless he sell you to another slave master. But for you to be free, because you know the day you are free, you will come for vengeance. You will come to revenge. You will come to demand for your heritage. And that's what Africans are lacking today. Africans are not lacking God. Africans are not lacking faith. Africans are not lacking prayer. Africans are not lacking, things that people want. They are lacking the use of their head. That's what Africans are lacking today. When you use your head, you will kill your illusion. You will kill your fears. You will kill your ignorance when you begin to use your head. You don't need to be educated, I mean, like attend any higher institution or institution of learning for you to use your head, for you to be smart, for you to live a meaningful life, for you to put food on your table, for you to make money. All you need is to use your head. Many people are living in the city or abroad suffering because they have the illusion that that's the only way they can succeed. So going back to their village is a curse. Their village where they were born and brought up, now then going back there is a curse. God only blessed them in the city and in abroad. And even those of us that say we are working, sometimes when we think of going back to our villages or our towns, you know how we feel. Personally, I am ready right now to go back to my village and live. But the reason why I will not go now, how many people are there to use their head like I am using my head? They will kill you just like that, like a mosquito. There's nothing you can do. Look, all the revolutionaries in Africa or in America that come speaking about Africans' freedom, African liberty. You see how they kill them? Because you have to use your head. It doesn't matter your level of education. If you don't use your head, white man remains on top. Because whatever you are talking about, they taught you that. The language you are using to call your people to wake up, they taught you that. There is one thing we are lacking, the use of our head. When you use your head, you will know that if they took what belongs to you by blood, it is also through blood you will get it back. Your prayer cannot get you back your heritage. No way. Spirituality cannot get you back your heritage. So all that shit you keep saying African spirituality is out of also the ignorance our people keep having. It was not originally called African spirituality, it's African science. Because when you call it African spirituality, then they're right, it's evil. It's wicked, it's something you don't see. You just, anything, when people make you believe imaginary thing, that is evil. It was African science. That's why through that African science, African power, wow, people were making things. That's how they invented almanac, mathematics, all this you have enjoying today. It is out of African science. It's not African spiritualities. You have spirituality, right? Or you say you are spiritual. Tell me what you can do with that. Nothing. It's the same thing with religion. Spirituality and religion is the same thing. Believing in imaginary being, imaginary things. Because you don't understand why you did that or why that happened, you say it's a spiritual thing. You say there is a God that must be behind that. It's natural. Every power we have is natural. The African science is natural. It's not spiritual. I used to believe in spirituality. I used to believe in religion. I trash all that shit. I am among the woke nation. We think critically and use our head to understand something and to avoid mistakes. I don't want to continue make or repeat the mistakes of my ancestors. I don't want to repeat the mistakes of the African revolutionaries. For you to stand and fight for African freedom, for you to stand and fight for Africa recovering their heritage, you have to prepare yourself. You have to restore that African power, my people. You look at the Haiti. Haitians gained the first black nation to gain independence. They defeated the greatest army of the world that time. The French army, they defeated them. They use African science, they use African power with weapons. You cannot fight them with prayers. You cannot fight them with good words. No, it must be fire for fire. When you go to your church or when they conduct prayer in your prayer section or whatever, they tell you fire for fire. But when it comes to things that really matter to you, they say no fire for fire. Forgive. Love your enemies. God will bless you if you do so. God, bullshit. Fuck all that. They kill your ancestors and stole your heritage. And you telling me by independence, by integration, by being how they want you to be, that's how you will recover it. You are joking. You are joking. Prayer cannot move a thing. You read your Bible, they tell you they surrounded a wall 7 days. On the 7th day, they go around it 7 times. Then they blew a trumpet. The world crumbled. You believe that shit? Use your head. In Germany, when the Jews were in the camp, locked up their concentration camp, no God came and intervened and saved them. No. The God of the Bible was nowhere to be found. They say Hitler slaughtered all of them. Millions of them, not all of millions of them. Where was that God? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Where was that Almighty God? That God was nowhere to be found. Use your head, my people. God saved the people of Israel in the Bible, right? And you say they are the Jews and the same people that exist today, the same Israel that exists today. Then look at how they are surviving today. It's not in the name of God. Not the name of God of Jacob defending them. No. Like when you read, I think it's Psalm 120, where either 120 or 20, if I'm saying, I used to pray with that bullshit. He said, may the name of God of Jacob defend you, answer you, and all that bullshit. Quit Jacob, quit God of Jacob. Where is God of Jacob? Where Israel are building weapons, have nuclear weapons, fighting. Because America created Israel you have today. Has nothing to do with any bullshit they wrote in the Bible. That bullshit in the Bible is a story. If you can use your head, you will understand. Africans, you have to use your head. You cannot get back your heritage by being nice to your oppressors, by trying to integrate with your oppressors. No, you have to show them you are smart. You have to show them you love your ancestors. Use your head, then you will begin to understand that a man who killed your father does not love you and will never love you no matter what that man is giving to you. The man who raped your mother does not love you no matter what that man is giving to you. The man is giving you all that to keep you away from asking questions, from asking what happened to your mother and doing something about it. You're supposed to know that. Use your head. Use your head. Do you think your friend who betrayed you, your friend who did bad thing to you will want you to think and use your head? No. That your friend will always come around trying to confuse you the more, telling you, don't worry, I'm here for you. Don't worry, you know. Because that your friend know if you begin to do investigation, it will lead back to him or her. And when you find out, some of you will quit, but some of you will stupidly ignore your head. You will say, okay, I forgive you in the name of God. So somebody that shot at you but mixed, now you buy more blade and give to him, say, don't worry, I forgive you, I love you. Then another opportunity is coming when that person will kill you. And that's how many people are dying. Use your head, my people. They used cannon to defeat our ancestors. They did not use God to defeat our ancestors. What makes you think you will use God to defeat them? You will use God to influence them. Let us pray. God will touch their heart. Which heart? They are heartless. Which heart will God touch? God will not touch their heartless heart because God does not exist and they are heartless. Oh, we are praying God will touch their heart one day. Which one day? Which one day? What is today? Which other day do you have except today? Why not today? You keep saying one day. One day God will touch. What is stopping God from touching their heart today? Because God does not exist and they are heartless. People that kill our ancestors are heartless. People that make us detest ourselves are heartless. People that make us hating ourselves are heartless. People that make us running away from our land and seeking for greener pasture or green pasture in their own land, they are heartless. People that make Africa hell on earth, they are heartless. It is time we tell ourselves the honest truth and shame God. It is time we tell ourselves the honest truth and shame the devil. They defeated our ancestors with God, canon, and then brainwash us, keep us mentally enslaved through a concept of God, canon and concept. We need both things, weapon and the using of our head. They gave us that concept. We have to destroy that concept with our common sense. We have to understand they use canon and concept to keep us, to program us the way we are today. I still read many Africans, many black people talking about how black people hate themselves the more and all that. No, my people, I used to think like that. I used to say all that bullshit. Black people, it's not in black people to hate one another. It's not in black people to kill one another. They have been programmed by evil ones. They have been conditioned to do that. Take in America, for example, they believe that African Americans hate Africans more than white people. No! White people like you to be saying that. They love that. They will pay you more if you will keep saying that. They say there's black on black crime. No! It is white people dressing like black people go into black neighborhood and begin to kill them and tell you black people because they show you that a black person escaped. But they dress in black to come and kill black people. Use yourself as an example. Do you have the mind to kill your brother? Do you? Do you have the mind even to fight with your brother? I mean, fight, you know you don't have that mind. Something has to influence you. There must be a strange influence for you to do that. Our ancestors weren't enslaving people as these people before they came. But we have been programmed to believe, yeah, our African ancestors were enslaving themselves. It's like telling me that an Igbo man who is serving his master for certain years for him to be settled to start his own life and family as a free man, they are slaves. No, that's what our ancestors were doing. There's no record anywhere that African ancestors were chaining people down, treating people like beasts anywhere. You say, oh, they were, of course, they were fighting against all the strangers or the evil ones. But they have open border. Listen, we don't want you in our area. Go, 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 go. They fight until you leave them. You depart. So you're supposed to use your head and think. Then you will begin to understand yourself as African. You begin to understand your ancestors. And that's when you begin to understand also your dream. Do you know if you can think critically in order to understand your dream, you don't need anyone to interpret it. You don't need anyone to tell you. It may take some days for you to understand it, for so long you spend time to think about it. But because you don't spend time to think, you pay people, you give them tithes and offering for them to tell you bullshit, telling you, I know the will of God for you. No, they don't even know the will of God for themselves. They say, I know God's purpose for you. No, think. If you can think, it is easy for you to know your purpose in this life. You will know what makes you happy, what you do that makes you happy, what you can do to help people. You begin to see that it is easy. You begin to do them. But they have educated you, miseducated you, train you wrongly for you to look for solution outside yourself. Why all the solution you need is inside you. Until you use your head. When the head is cut off, the body is useless. Until you use your head, your life is useless. Oh man, how I wish you understand it. How can you lose your illusion? How can you lose your fear? How can you lose your ignorance? Use your head. Use your head. Be intelligent. Understand that blind faith cannot give you any intelligence. It cannot. Blind faith, regardless your level of education, regardless your position in the society, it still means you are stupid. You are still stupid. No matter you are a professor, you are senator, you are governor, you are this, you are that, you are in authority, you are in power. When you say something, people shake, yet you still have blind faith. You are still stupid. No matter who you are, no matter how old you are. A child that can use his head is better than an adult who don't use his head. A baby, you see some kids, they say, oh, the children of this day nowadays, they are too inquisitive. Yes, because they are using their head. When we were growing up, we weren't using our parents say, yeah, children come out of belly button. Because children need to know. They ask questions. We ask questions also. They silence us. They use religion to silence us. They use all this nonsense to. That's why I say I cannot bring up my daughter the way my parents brought me up. I want to talk about sex with my daughter. I want to talk everything with my daughter. Unless the one she say no, then I leave her. But I want her to know about everything. You may not know everything, but know something about it. So you can make your own judgment. You can speak as human being. Every human being have brain, no matter your age. We all have brain. Nobody have a brain better than the other one. But religion don't want you to think that way. Use your head. Be inquisitive. Before you accept anything, before you believe everything, weigh it. Do your own research. Ask questions. Don't just swallow it because so person says so. No. Do not swallow it because it is written somewhere. It is written does not mean it is the truth. God says does not mean it is the truth. Jesus said does not mean it is the truth. You ought to use your brain, use your head, my people. See, sometimes you hit your for something to come. I forgot something, you hit your head. Yes. If you can use your head, no one will use you and dump you. The reason why is this: even when you yourself tell you the truth, you ignore it. No, I'm in love. I love him. I love her. Until you find yourself dead or almost dead. Then you begin to say, he disappointed me. She disappointed me. No, you disappointed yourself. I am also a perfect example of what I'm saying. When I was my first marriage, when I found out this thing, no, this person is not like, I cannot continue with this. But they came begging me, crying, all that shit. I said, okay. I didn't know how now. I use Bible now. If God could forgive me my sins, who am I not to forgive them? It's not about forgiveness. It's not about sin. It's about doing what works. It's about being conscious. Instead of you using faith to enslave yourself, many of you are living miserable life today because of the silly faith you have in silly God. In God that does not exist. Jesus does not exist. Oh, that's what our people believe. That's what our religion taught. Bullshit. It is time you use your brain. Stop using faith. Especially blind faith. Stop using blind faith. Use your brain. When you use your brain, you will see how simple life is and how good is. Nobody will come and deceive you. Nobody will come. That's why you see people of faith, they say, oh, you are deceiving people. You are because they are deceived. To believe that somebody can deceive you. If you use your head, no one can deceive you. You want to buy a car, you want to buy something, you have to use your head. If you don't use your head, those people with sweet tongue will lure you to buy something you will regret ever buying. You have to use your head and help yourself, my people. Life is good. All right? Peace.